Hello everyone, welcome back to a new replay cast. Today we're going to be having a look at in bottom right spawning as the blue Terran, Liquid Thermi, also known as uThermal of course. And on the left side the Clashes Reynor, playing for the Italian team. Opening up with a drone scout. You might be thinking it can be a 3H before a pool, but no. uThermal known for his proxy play. Reynor realized that, it's like alright, you want to proxy me every game? Let's see me start drone scouting. And of course this game uThermal won't be proxying, so it's gonna cost Reynor a little bit here, as he won't be able to find anything. Just looking at any kind of the close spots, making sure nothing's around. Checks his final spot and like, alright, I think I'm safe. Except for this area. But it's very, very far and very unlikely that the Rex get proxied there, but that might make it a good position for the future. We'll see. We'll see if uThermal decides to put them there in the future. As we have SCV Scout coming across the map. Now SCV Scout, recently a lot being used of course, not only for scouting, but also for blocking that third hatchery. On this map, Zerg most likely will not be taking the hatchery on this base, as it is a little bit exposed from the back against Hellions, for example. So Zerg wants to take this as a third base. Now, if the Terran decides to block that, whether it's just with an SCV or with an eBay or a bunker, I've seen all of it. You gotta be careful. You gotta be careful being the Zerg player, because all of a sudden you're not taking your third base before the 330, 340 mark. Well, usually you want to be taking it at around 230. Back in the day we'd see Zergs hide a drone over here, and then when the Reaper came in they would build a hatchery basically. Nowadays Zergs realize once there's an SCV scout it's going to be a lot harder to get that base. uThermal doesn't decide to block it with anything, sends the SCV back home, and we'll be seeing the Hellions being built relatively quickly. First streamer on the way as well, as a second queen on the natural, which will be the third queen in total. So there's of course a queen in the main as well already. We see continued gas mining up to 100, then pulls out a gas with at least 2 of his workers and goes into overlord speed. 307 already, still no third base. Creep being pushed forward, will be able to start help moving those queens towards his third base, and perhaps the drone will be able to finally get down that hatchery. It's been taking him some time though. uThermal's going to be very happy with this. Reaper just positioned on that base in the middle. See if he's paying attention. Well, he wasn't quite, but in the end does manage to get out with the Reaper. Drone capable of building that third base, but God is it late. Reaper does end up falling, and speed finishes for the Lynx as well. So this is basically a base the moment speed finish. This is not quite what you want. Now uThermal is scouting around, and he's just going to make sure that these minerals have not been mined. That's important for him because he's taken a back base, which is of course possible on this map where you mine out these mineral patches and then you take the back base. So uThermal will be playing the bottom side of the map for now, and Reynor will be playing the top side. With his overlord speed we'll be able to scout out exactly what is going on. Command center going down in the wall here for uThermal. Now you might be wondering, why does he build it here in the wall? Like, does he even need a wall there? Well, at the moment he doesn't, but if 2 drones take away these minerals, or Reynor decides to take away these minerals, it is nice to have a wall ready, of course. uThermal realizing that and anticipating any kind of problems in the future. So he continues building workers. He's getting a second starport and a fusion core. This is looking to be a little messy from my point of view. He does have a Viking, which will be able to deny any kind of scouting, even though there's overlord speed. And the last thing Reynor saw was a tech lab on the barracks. So Reynor will be expecting, most likely, bio. Do you really want to be sending in more overlords, knowing you're going to lose them to the Viking? I'm not so sure if you do. I'm not so sure if you do. Eventually you will have to send something in just to indeed confirm that it is going to be bio. And in this case it won't be a confirmation. So we'll be like, oh wait, never mind, that's not confirmed at all. And here comes Reynor With that scout, Viking is slightly out of position, won't be able to deny this. At least not in time. Reynor heading straight for the gold. Don't think he will be able to see the second starport and the fusion port though, but with this timing he's gonna know that there's a battlecruiser on the way. That's good enough. One battlecruiser, response is going to be exactly the same. Spire comes down, spores in the bases, extra queens being added. Now of course if he knows there's a second battlecruiser, he might add an extra spore here and there. He might add even more queens. Right now we're on 8 queens already, we'll be going up to 10. I think we would definitely see a spore in every single base. Scan goes down, sees where the spire is. Reynor puts down a reactionary spore, because the moment Thermi scans and sees, hey wait, there's no spore there, this could be a potential base to jump into, and Reynor's like, alright, he's seen there's no spore here, so I will build a spore here now. There's a spore in the main. I'd love to just see a spore in the third as well, but there is 5 queens there. 2 battlecruisers in combination with those Hellions. Might be a bit dangerous though. Here comes the blink in, and indeed the spore is quite a surprise here. 4 queens greet these 2 battlecruisers. Burning down the spire though, that's a big move. If he gets it, does manage to get it. So meanwhile Hellions into the natural as well. No queens ready over there anymore. Battlecruisers moving forward. We'll be able to get a bunch of workers. It loses all the Hellions. Gets a queen, might be able to get a second queen. Let's be careful, there's a lot of queens around here. There's a couple of transfuses still ready. All the transfuses are gone now, but so is the window for uThermal to do any kind of damage with these two. Throws down a mule to repair. Does not want to walk back home. Throws down 2 mules actually. And he's gonna go again with 4. With Yamato cannon being done. Third battlecruiser is here. Spire still not done. Ooh, spots where the spire is right now as well. And with Yamato cannon we'll definitely be able to kill this. That's 1. Second battlecruiser will teleport soon. I'm not actually sure if he's going to be able to get it now. He should be, right? It's going to be so close. Yeah, does get it. So second time the spire dies, and now all of a sudden we're looking at 4 battlecruisers. Where's that spire being built right now? Again, this position, I'm not a fan of it. He sees quite a lot of those queens. How many queens is there at this point? 13 queens. That seems like one hell of a macro mechanic right there. It's 2 battlecruisers, 3 battlecruisers moving to the third base to try and do some damage. There is still some Yamatos left over here, I believe. 1, 2, 3 Yamatos left. 2 blinks left as well. There's a Ling run by happening, but can't Ling run by to the bottom as it's a full wall. This is the standoff of a lifetime. If you guys pretend to not see me, I will pretend to not see you. We still have the battlecruisers going ham. What is the unit loss tab so far? So 3,500 resources lost for Reynor, only 1,200 for uThermal, who thinks in with another, or actually just, I think he just flew it in. Gets a couple more drones, gets a couple of overlords. First 7 corruptors are now on the way, don't forget. But if there's not a lot of corruptors, he's just going to be able to Yamato like 4, teleport out and rinse and repeat the process again and again. Like every single time he gets Yamato, he will just be able to be like, okay, come in with your corruptors, oh Yamato 1, go back home, repair, come back in, Yamato, teleport back out. He's going to be able to get a couple more drones here, so Reynor's ego is so bad, honestly. He's going to be losing this base as well, so Reynor down to 3 bases now. Corruptors do get spotted, extra factories are going down, there is 3 already, 2 more on the way. Hellion Cyclone is the follow-up. 6 battlecruisers are out, 2 more on the way, we'll be going up to 8 battlecruisers. Is there an... oh, okay. I was wondering how he managed to get all the money for all this production and for all these battlecruisers, but now it's starting to make a lot more sense as Armory's only going down at the 10-minute mark, 4th base is done already. It's an orbital. This should trigger something from Reynor, at least trying to take down these minerals. This is a run by Valhalla at this point. I would love to see this being mined out. So either by Reynor or uThermal actually. If uThermal can mine this out in a sneaky way, I don't think he can, sadly. But if he could, that would be one hell of a play, obviously. I like these 2 Hellions. I really like this. He realizes his bottom side is very, very insecure at this point. He's going to be defending those minerals with his life. 8 battlecruisers moving across the map. There's 13 corruptors, so more than 50% of the corruptors is going to fall against the Yamatos. 2 more battlecruisers on the way. 1 is done indeed. We see Heli and Cyclone moving out on the map. I feel like if uThermal would just be pushing with 1 army, I'm having a hard time believing he will lose. Of course, his upgrades aren't too hot, but what do we really have here? We have 1-1. For Reynor. Yeah, I mean, if your battlecruiser in there, this army is tiny. Now, battlecruisers are moving forward. Get a bunch of Yamatos off and teleport. 6 corruptors for 1 battlecruiser. I think that's a trade uThermal wouldn't mind taking, especially because he is completely outmining Reynor. The problem was the fight in the middle was not that efficient whatsoever. Actually, it was completely... Oh my god. 6 extra command centers will be turning into orbitals. uThermal's in it for the long haul. He is in it for the long haul. Now, the follow-up step we're going to be seeing here from Reynor is going to be Infestors, most likely, or going into Hive. But I'm feeling Infestors with that Neural Parasite. You can use Yamato. You can use the Blink. And then you can kill the battlecruisers with your leftover corruptors, which is, of course, brilliant. I don't like these small armies moving on the map. Once again, uThermal will most likely lose all of these Cyclones for free. It's the problem when you have such a big air army, you don't really have a lot left for ground, but if you just use them in unison, the Cyclone Hellion and the Battlecruiser, I think you should be able to do a lot of damage. I'm not quite sure why that has not been happening so far. Like these armies have quite some synergy as well with the Cyclones, who don't have the upgrade yet. No mech field accelerator, it is on the way, but it's not done yet. It helps a lot against corruptors, obviously. It's nice against queens as well. A couple of Hellions will help out, and also it's something to tank the queen shots. Don't forget about that. But yeah, Cyclones, of course, absolutely a brilliant choice against corruptors. How many corruptors is there currently? There's 17 corruptors, 10 battlecruisers. They all do have Yamatos. This could result into, well, 10 to 11 dead corruptors. +2 on the way. There's no armor yet here for the corruptors. Helps, of course, a lot against a fast shooting unit like the battlecruiser. But I much prefer the attack. Because a lot of these trades, and Reynor knows this, are going to be Yamato and teleporting out, in which case damage is way more important than armor upgrades. You see another run by happening here, a bunch of cars making their way to that top base. Reynor is ready, even though he has meager creep spread, almost no map vision. We'll start rotating with these corruptors downwards. 2 scans forward here by uThermal. Might just snipe the Hive, honestly. Or could snipe 10 corruptors, of course, depending what you think is more valuable. I think I know what he thinks is more valuable. He sees the Infestors coming in. Does he decide to teleport out? Decides not to teleport out. Will stay a little bit longer. As he sees the hesitance out of Reynor, and it's also understandable. There's 12 corruptors against 11 battlecruisers. 3 Infestors for Fungal. Hive does die. Spawning pool goes down one more time. There's still a couple of cars here. Oh, I'd love these cars to just jump in here. You don't need to deal with this right now. Yes, using them to base trade. 10 workers have gone down. There's no money in the bank for Reynor whatsoever. There's only orbitals. 3 extra starports on the way as well. I absolutely love this. Oh, more drones falling, down to 69 workers at this point. 14 minutes in the game. And Reynor is having trouble maxing out. Is there Neural Parasite? Yes, the long arm of the Infestor has been researched. We see 3 more Infestors on the way. There's 3 out already. All have energy for that Neural. Might be a little bit dangerous for uThermal, of course. Right now you have 12 battlecruisers, but if 6 of them get taken over and they get Yamato, all of a sudden the fight can change very rapidly. Couple of scans going down. There is Yamatos ready once again. uThermal looking for an opportunity to bounce. 3 more battlecruisers on the way. So the whole bottom side is now occupied with orbital commands. This is dangerous. There's now an opening to that bottom side, and as there's only orbital commands, Ling run-bys might actually become a threat. I would love to see a wall over here and then continue upwards. Once we have a big fight, lots of Yamatos coming down, and not the hottest fight here, I think. Was it? Three Battlecruisers did end up falling, kills all the infestors and probably a couple of Corruptors, but Corruptor count is so big at this point that they can just kind of fight the Battlecruisers, even if they lose a couple of Corruptors initially to Yamato. There's 3 Cyclones on the map. And right now we're seeing Drilling Claws. So we'll be used to deal with the Corruptors, I can only imagine. There's still a Spire here, plus 1 Carapace being researched. Cyclone trying to do some work on these Corruptors won't really work out. Roach Warrens get rebuilt as well. Extra Banelings are on the way. 3 upgrades for air and plating. No ground upgrades yet though. So we have 3 tanks over here. I'm not quite sure what they're doing. I don't think uThermal knows what he's doing with these tanks either. The gold is getting taken. Ooh. What is this? A bit of an outpost here with turrets, and units lost still heavily in favor of uThermal, but must have been mining a little less, or have a way more valuable army. It's just been mining a little less, which is weird. Take a look at the units lost tab. 45 workers killed against almost nothing, and this is what I was talking about earlier. Now all of a sudden you only have orbitals. Don't really have any defense against any kind of run-by. Of course, Reynor also doesn't have any defense against this. Well, fly-by more, drive-by. Spire goes down, layer most likely will fall again. Is there a secondary layer? No, there's not. 2 Spires will start at the 5th base location. Layer does not go down. Instead decides to go into an extra base. 53 workers right now for Reynor, who is in his opponent's base with a lot of stuff. This is the problem if you have no defense whatsoever, but the moment uThermal TP's back, yeah, you gotta run real quick. Run, Forest. 48 workers have gone down in the past minute. That's 30 workers against 75 right now. There is, on top of that, 10 orbital commands. There's 3 command centers that are ready to turn into planetaries, which he really needs to start doing. His income is very, very low. Yeah, no planetary here, and he's gonna start paying the price at this point for being greedy in the mid game. It's gonna cost him in the later game, now that the map is open. Cyclones moving forward will be able to perhaps take out 1 or 2 Corruptors. Yeah, we'll get 3 at the same time with that final shot. His orbital command will most likely fall to some bile still. Yes, there we go, uThermal not paying attention. Unless this gets repaired. No, they'll end up falling. It's an expensive joke. The lack of planetary is really killing him, and we're going into one of the weirder base trades. A couple of balls raining down on top of the tank. No secondary tank yet. There's a lot of energy on all of those orbital commands. Mining for uThermal has been reset. Reynor still happily mining, even though it's only from 45 workers. A couple of infestors on the map as well. I want to say a couple. More like a handful. Hell, more than half a dozen. Well, even more than that. Almost 2 hands full. 8 infestors are on the map. We'll be able to deal with these Battlecruiser. Well, deal with them, at least scare them away. Of course, Fungals, Neurals, all real scary here. Oh, good, Fungal actually hits. Will not allow the teleport. Of course, Fungal disables the teleport, and as a result, we'll be able to get... Well, I'm not sure why those 2 didn't teleport in the end. Unit loss moving a lot closer right now. Reynor moving in with the Ling Ravager. 13 non-minerals being mined for uThermal currently. Decent biles raining down, but the real issue is the links in the mineral line here. Battlecruiser is completely out of position, but the moment they get into position, the Corruptors will start showing up. Infestors still haven't found a quick way into this general area. Tried to go over here, but that was a little bit too dangerous, or deemed a little bit too dangerous. 28 workers left for uThermal, who's still on 8 orbital commands, and we see the mules rain from the sky. Planetaries on the left base, planetaries on this base, which was eventually gonna go open, would have saved them so much trouble here. Just keeping those key areas with planetaries would have absolutely helped a crap ton. Now his whole base is open. 2 Ling run-bys, everything is open to Ling run-bys, and There's one thing that Reynor likes to do, it is a ring run by, so uThermal will need to be very careful. You see +1 vehicle weapon starting 20 minutes in game. With an army that is consisting more and more of ground and less of those battlecruisers, as they have found their counter in the infestor. Reynor being a little passive right now, just trying to build up his work account. Of course, he's not quite sure what his position in this game is currently. As uThermal is setting up mining again. Oh, I know he still has, yeah, an orbital here, or just a regular command center. I would love if you just used that command center and turned into a planetary. Instead, once again, another orbital flying over. Hellion run by might be able to do something here. There's no defenses. No, oh, there is Burrow. So Burrow could have been utilized here. Reynor instead decides it's wiser to stack them all up onto this assimilator, or this extractor. Turns his Hellions into Hellbats as tries to move forward over here. That's an extractor, but this is dangerous. Moving into this with those battlecruisers is not exactly it's not exactly safe. That is not double bagging your groceries whatsoever. Oh. Tank shoots, but this wall is not closed, and Reynor is like, alright, if that's not closed, I'm just gonna go in, start attacking everything in your main base. uThermal will need to respond to this. This has a powerful army on top of this ramp. Reynor takes the whole top side of the map as uThermal is taking the bottom. Of course, this base has been mined a little bit by Reynor, but not too much, so will be available still for uThermal for later use. The main thing he's struggling with at the moment, though, is gas, not so much the minerals. He's not mining full force from these gases whatsoever. 188 supply right now for Reynor, who I think has a pretty well-versed army to what we're seeing here from uThermal. Has to send back all of his battlecruisers to deal with this. I feel like one battlecruiser would have been sufficient, but perhaps I'm the idiot here. Burrow being utilized will force a scan, but that's no problem for uThermal, as plenty of scans to go around. Doors are being built, 3 extra command centers. I mean, I like that he's getting extra command centers, but what are you going to use them for? Like, he needs to start taking these bases. Like, this base is still a certainty that he will get it. Links spread all around the map. Will provide a little bit of vision without uThermal realizing. Look at that. And now that Reynor realizes, hey, wait a second, I know where the battlecruisers are going. uThermal not aware that he has been spotted. That's extremely big. Does scan forward, realize, hey, there's some infestors there, and Reynor smells blood in the water. Is there teleports ready? There's teleports ready. Might teleport to the other side of the map. What's Reynor doing here? Oh. Corruptors are jumping in. A lot of corruptors do end up falling. One battlecruiser falls as well. But that was once again a decent trade for uThermal. He's also been trading on the other side of the map with Hellion Cyclone. And I feel like if this Hellion Cyclone would just have slightly better upgrades, this would look so much better already. So we have a big ground army building up for uThermal with tanks, with Hellions. There is no Brood Lord, so how is Reynor going to be dealing with this ground army? If there's a lot of tanks, if there's a lot of Hellions, good scan here by uThermal. We'll be able to save a couple of those Cyclones perhaps. Yeah, tanks being sieged up at the same position. Don't get double hit by the Biles though, and 3 more tanks are falling. A little bit of a sloppy fight by uThermal, sloppy sieging. Reynor does manage to clean that up. There's 3 Thors who are having a blast in the mineral line. A little bit of a party here. Not a little bit of a party, it's one hell of a party. A couple of the battlecruisers flying back home. I'm not sure what they're doing. Most likely we'll be going actually for the same play that I've been doing before, where kind of try to go around. Right now uThermal occupying the main base of Reynor, but is this even worth? I mean, for the gas I guess it is, but so what, 700, 800 minerals there. Guess might as well try, right? Good scan here by uThermal. We'll be able to get all of these workers if they stay around, if they stick around. This ground army is, it sounds stupid, but this ground army is really important, because the moment this ground army actually dies, the ground army for uThermal will just be too powerful. I mean, there's no anti-ground from the air. There's no Brood Lords, nothing like that. which means that if uThermal wins one of the two battles, either in the air or on the ground, he's going to win the game. And for Reynor, that's not the case. Reynor needs to win both battles. uThermal only needs to win one. If Reynor beats the air, but loses the ground, he loses the game. If Reynor beats the ground, if Reynor beats the air but loses the ground, he loses the game. If Reynor beats the ground and loses the air, he also loses the game. So he needs to win both battles, which is kind of tricky to have that balance, right? Because you're going to be responding to what your opponent does. Because uThermal can focus really hard on just winning the ground battle, for example. And right now what he might be doing is he can move forward over here. And I'd love for him to just blink on top of this fight. If he can help that fight without there being any anti-air, I think he could just win the game. Instead, we see Reynor with the infestors moving forward. Good neurals being used here. I think if the Battlecruisers jump on here, the ground army might just win here for uThermal. It is very risky, of course, because then you have no escape for the Battlecruisers. And you basically give up your Battlecruisers against whatever air will come and clean them up. So it's an investment of 4 to 5k, and you're hoping that there's not enough reinforcements from the Zerg to clean up your ground army. Something else that uThermal could do, which is something I've seen in the past, is where you secretly kill your own Battlecruisers and then just get a massive ground army. So you make your opponent believe you're just flying around with your Battlecruisers, but in reality you're just getting a massive ground army, and then all of a sudden your opponent has what, 24, 22 Corruptors, and your ground army is going to be absolutely massive. You can win the ground fight and win the game like that, but infestors are a little tricky to play against, because you might think even with a massive ground army you can do well. Infestors delay push outs, they are extremely good against both air and ground, so it's kind of a combination unit there. With the neural they'll be able to fight against both Battlecruisers and against tanks and Thors, against Cyclones, basically anything. It's the ultimate unit, only 2 supply. Turret is going to start soon. We see a couple of good neurals coming down. Army gets absolutely blasted by those Ravagers, the hidden infestors. Where the Battlecruisers? Battlecruisers on the other side of the map. Another Hellion run by will be heading towards this base, but basically mined out at this point already. A couple of Hellions doing some real work here though. 20 workers do end up falling here. Not enough money to rebuild those workers, so Reynor will go down to 26 workers for now. 2 Hellbats will get cleaned up once again. uThermal has secured this position with a planetary. Still has money over here. There's some gas in these refineries. There is some gas in these. You can still get this base eventually, so some gas in this refinery as well. This will take care of his mineral thirst. This should take care of his mineral thirst as well. There's still some minerals here which he could take. Gas, he has plenty in the bank, so I'd love to see a little more aggressive expanding coming out of uThermal at this point. Of course it is difficult because his army doesn't feel so strong currently. Here come the sharks again. Under the ground, under the water. Waiting to pop up. And snap. Couple of scans going down. Scans giving away, of course, the location of the Battlecruiser, but can't really go about without scanning, as that would be slightly too risky. He's gonna Yamato, right? And no, it's actually gonna fly to the other side of the map. Oh, a couple of balls raining down. Will not get anything. Could use some Yamatos on it. This is what I was talking about earlier. I absolutely love this play. This is a great play. And now the problem is, of course, he needs to retreat, but there is a big army here. I think he should just completely retreat. This was a good fight though for uThermal. He needs to have a safe haven though, and this, I'm not quite sure if this is the safe haven that he had been imagining. There's still an opening here for a run. Rise of Reynor realizes, oh, a bunch of units being caught on the map right now. This is not what you want, uThermal. This is not what you want. So Reynor has given up his initial location now and starts migrating towards the right side of the map with 2 buildings remaining, or two hatcheries remaining on the right side. Just moves up the ramp at this point. Reynor is too confident, takes over the Thors. Corruptors making short work of these Battlecruisers as well, as the Corruptors have 3-3 or 2-2 at this point. GG gets called and Reynor wins this game as well. Thank you all very much for watching. If you did enjoy the video, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Leave a like down below, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye bye.